The alarm bells rang through the bridge of the human ship New Horizon. Captain Jake Morrison looked up from his morning coffee as the red lights flashed around him. His crew moved quickly to their stations, fingers dancing over control panels. "Sir, we have an incoming transmission," said Lieutenant Amy Brooks from her communication station. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were wide. "It's not from Earth." Morrison set down his cup and walked to the main screen. "Put it through." The screen flickered and showed a strange face. The creature had blue skin and large yellow eyes. Its mouth moved in ways that seemed impossible, but somehow the ship's computer made words that Morrison could understand. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the alien said. "I am Commander Veltar of the Zephyrian Alliance. We send this message in great need." Morrison leaned forward. In his 20 years of space travel, he had never seen an alien before. No human had. "This is Captain Morrison. What do you need?" Veltar's yellow eyes seemed to grow even larger. "Our worlds are under attack. The Korthak Empire has come to destroy us. They have already taken 12 of our colonies. Our people are dying." Brooks worked at her station, trying to clean up the signal. Chief Engineer Pete Collins ran scans. On the alien technology, the readings made no sense to him. "We have heard stories about humans," Veltar continued. "Stories say you are warriors. We ask for your help. Please send backup ships to help us fight." Morrison looked around his bridge. His crew stared back at him. They were explorers, not soldiers. Their ship had some weapons, but nothing compared to what this alien seemed to need. "How many ships do you have?" Morrison asked. "We have 40 ships left," Veltar said, "but they are not built for war. We are a peaceful people. We make art and study the stars. We do not know how to fight like the Korthak." Collins whispered to Morrison, "Sir, their technology is different from ours, but I can tell their ships are weak, like flying paper boxes." Veltar's image flickered. "The Korthak have over 300 ships, big ships with terrible weapons. They destroy everything. Please, humans, we need your help. Send what ships you can spare." Morrison nodded slowly. "We will contact our leaders. Hold your position. Help is coming." The transmission ended. The bridge fell quiet except for the soft hum of the ship's engines. "Amy, get me Earth Command right now," Morrison ordered. "Priority Alpha Channel." Within minutes, Admiral Lisa Kane appeared on the screen. She was a tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had fought in the Earth Wars and knew what real battle looked like. "Admiral, we have a situation," Morrison began. He told her everything about the alien message. Kane listened without speaking. When Morrison finished, she was quiet for a long moment. "So aliens are real," she finally said. "And they want our help in a war." "Yes, ma'am. They seem to think we're some kind of warrior race." Kane almost smiled. "Well, they're not wrong about that." She looked at something off-screen. "Jake, how many ships do you think they expect us to send?" Morrison thought about it. "Based on what they said, maybe 5 or 10 ships. They have 40, so they probably think that's a big fleet." Kane nodded. 5 or 10 ships. She paused. "Jake, humanity has been preparing for this day since we first looked at the stars. We always knew we might find others out there, and we always knew some of them might not be friendly. What are your orders, Admiral?" "I'm authorizing Operation Thunderclap. We're sending the 3rd Battle Fleet." Morrison's eyes went wide. "Ma'am, that's over 200 ships. 237 ships, to be exact," Kane corrected. "Jake, if we're going to introduce ourselves to the galaxy, we're going to do it right. No half measures." Collins spoke up from his station. "Admiral, their technology seems basic. They might not understand what they're asking for." Kane's expression hardened. "Then they're about to learn what humans do when someone threatens our friends." She looked directly at Morrison. "Jake, get back to those Zephyrians. Tell them help is on the way. Don't tell them how much help." The connection ended. Morrison stood alone on his bridge thinking about what was coming. Amy Brooks broke the silence. "Sir, should I contact the aliens?" "Yes. Tell them we received their message. Tell them human ships are coming to help them." Brooks opened the channel again. Veltar's face appeared, looking hopeful. Commander Veltar, this is Captain Morrison. We have contacted our fleet command. Human ships are on their way to help you. Veltar's yellow eyes brightened. Thank you, Captain Morrison. How many ships are you sending? Morrison paused. He thought about Admiral Kane's words. Enough, he said simply. When will they arrive? 3 days. Can you hold out that long? Veltar nodded. We will try. Our remaining ships are hiding near our homeworld. The Korthak are still destroying our outer colonies, but they have not found us yet. Good. When our ships arrive, things will change. After the call ended, Collins walked over to Morrison. Sir, do you think we're doing the right thing? Bringing that much firepower? Morrison looked out at the stars through the main window. Pete, these Zephyrians seem like good people. They make art and study stars. They don't hurt anyone. He turned to face his engineer. And someone is trying to wipe them out just because they can. So we're going to war? No, Pete. We're going to end a war. There's a difference. Over the next 3 days, Morrison's ship stayed close to the Zephyrian fleet. He watched as the peaceful aliens tried to prepare for battle. Their ships moved slowly and clumsily. Their weapons were mining tools and construction lasers. These people had never fought anyone in their lives. On the 3rd day, space itself seemed to tear open at the edge of the system. One by one, human ships emerged from hyperspace. First came the destroyers, sleek and deadly. Then the cruisers, bristling with weapons. Finally, the massive dreadnoughts appeared, each one larger than 10 Zephyrian ships combined. Morrison watched, Veltar's face on the communication screen as the alien commander counted the arriving human ships. The Zephyrian's yellow eyes grew wider and wider. Captain Morrison, Veltar whispered. How many ships did you bring? Morrison smiled grimly. All of them. Commander Veltar stood on his bridge watching the human ships appear one by one. His crew members stared at their screens in complete silence. The numbers kept growing. 10 ships, 20 ships, 50 ships, 100 ships. Sir, his sensor officer whispered, I count over 200 human ships now. Veltar felt his legs go weak. When he asked for backup, he hoped for maybe 5 ships, 10 at most. But this was an entire fleet, the biggest fleet he had ever seen. A new voice came over the communication system. It was deep and strong, like thunder rolling across mountains. This is Admiral Lisa Kane of the Human Third Battle Fleet. Commander Veltar, are you there? Veltar tried to speak, but no words came out. He cleared his throat and tried again. Yes, Admiral Kane, I am here. Good. We're here to help with your Korthak problem. Veltar looked at his screens again. The human ships were massive. Each one was bigger than his largest ship. Some of them were bigger than his space stations. Admiral, Veltar said slowly, how many ships did you bring? 237 combat vessels, Kane replied like she was talking about the weather. Plus support ships. Is that enough? Veltar's crew looked at each other. Their entire civilization had maybe 60 ships in total. Most of those were science ships or cargo haulers, and the humans brought 237 warships. That should be enough, Veltar managed to say. Admiral Kane's flagship, the Iron Thunder, moved closer to Veltar's ship. Through the window, Veltar could see the human vessel. It was dark gray and covered in weapon ports. It looked like it was built for one purpose only: war. We need to talk strategy, Kane said. I'm sending over some of my officers. An hour later, Veltar found himself in his ship's meeting room with several human officers. They all wore dark blue uniforms and had serious faces. The leader was a man named Colonel Steve Martinez. Tell us about the Korthak, Martinez said, pulling out a device that projected a star map. Where are they? How many ships? What kind of weapons? Veltar pointed to different areas on the map. They have over 300 ships. They started here at our mining colonies. Then they moved to our farming worlds. Now they are destroying everything. A human woman named Dr. Helen Carter leaned forward. Commander, can you tell us about your people? What kind of society do you have? We are peaceful, Veltar said. We make art. We study the stars. We grow food and build beautiful things. We have never fought a war like this. Dr. Carter nodded. What about your ships? Are they military vessels? Veltar felt embarrassed. No. They used to be mining ships and research vessels. We put some weapons on them, but they are not real warships. Colonel Martinez studied the map. So you have 40 converted civilian ships against 300 Korthak warships? Yes, Veltar said quietly. The humans looked at each other. Martinez spoke into a small device. Admiral, we need to accelerate our timeline. These people are completely outmatched. Kane's voice came back. Understood. Begin recon missions immediately. Another human officer, Captain Roy Thompson, stepped forward. Commander Veltar, we're going to send some of our scout ships to look at the Korthak positions. Don't worry, they won't be seen. How can you be sure? Veltar asked. Thompson smiled. Because we built them not to be seen. Over the next few hours, Veltar watched as human ships moved through his system. They moved differently than his ships. They moved like hunters. Fast and quiet and deadly. His communication officer called out. Sir, Captain Thompson is returning. Thompson's image appeared on the screen. Behind him, Veltar could see a bridge that looked like something from his nightmares. Every surface was covered in weapons controls and battle displays. Admiral Kane, I have a full picture of the Korthak fleet, Thompson reported. They have 327 ships total. They're spread across 15 systems, destroying everything they find. What kind of resistance are they expecting? Kane asked. None, ma'am. They're not even trying to hide. They think they're fighting helpless civilians. Veltar felt sick. They are right. We are helpless. Kane's voice became gentle. Not anymore, Commander. Tell me about the Korthak. What do they want? Veltar thought about the intercepted messages his people had received. They want our worlds. They destroy everything and everyone, then they move in. They have done this to many other peaceful species. How many other species? Dr. Carter asked. At least 12 that we know of. All peaceful people, all destroyed. The humans went quiet. Veltar could see something change in their faces. They looked angry, really angry. Admiral Kane's voice came over the communication system again. All ships, this is the Admiral. We have a new mission priority. This is not just about defending the Zephyrians. This is about stopping a pattern of genocide. Colonel Martinez stood up. Commander Veltar, we need you to understand something. When you asked for backup, you probably expected a few ships to help defend your worlds. Yes, Veltar said. That's not what we do, Martinez continued. We don't just defend, we end threats. Permanently. What does that mean? Dr. Carter answered. It means we're not going to chase the Korthak away from your worlds. We're going to make sure they never attack anyone again. Veltar looked around the room at the human faces. They all had the same expression. It was not anger exactly. It was something colder. Something that made Veltar's skin crawl. How? He asked. By doing what humans do best, Martinez said. War. Thompson spoke up from the communication screen. Admiral, the Korthak main fleet is gathering near the Kepler system. They're preparing for a major assault on the Zephyrian homeworld. Kane's voice was calm. Perfect. That saves us the trouble of hunting them down one by one. She paused. All ships, prepare for battle operations. We end this tomorrow. Veltar stood alone in his meeting room after the humans left. Through his window, he could see their fleet. 237 warships floating in space like sleeping monsters. He had asked for backup. Instead, he had summoned something that scared him almost as much as the Korthak did. But as he thought about his people dying on 12 destroyed worlds, he decided he could live with being scared. The next morning, Commander Veltar found himself aboard the human flagship Iron Thunder. He had never been on a warship before. Everything was different from his peaceful research vessels. The walls were thick metal, the floors were covered in non-slip material. Every corridor had emergency blast doors. This ship was built to survive in battle. Admiral Kane met him at the airlock. She was tall and moved like a soldier. Her gray hair was cut short and her eyes were sharp and cold. "Welcome. Aboard, Commander," she said. "Ready to learn how humans fight?" Veltar followed her through the ship. Everywhere he looked, he saw weapons. Big weapons, small weapons, weapons he could not even identify. Human crew members moved quickly and quietly, all wearing the same serious expression. They entered a large room filled with screens and battle displays. Several human officers were already there, studying star maps and ship positions. "This is our war room," Kane explained. "This is where we plan battles." A man in uniform stepped forward. "Commander Veltar, I'm Commander Rick Stone, Tactical Planning Officer." He pointed to a large screen showing the local star systems. "We've been studying your enemy." The screen showed red dots representing Korthak ships. There were so many red dots that some systems looked completely covered. "The Korthak have 327 ships," Stone continued. "They're spread across 15 systems, but they're making a mistake." "What mistake?" Veltar asked. Woman named Major Sarah Kim answered. "They're not watching their backs. They think they're safe because they're fighting helpless civilians." Admiral Kane walked to the main display. "Commander, your people asked for backup to help defend your worlds. But defense is not how humans fight wars." "I don't understand," Veltar said. Kane pressed a button and the display changed. Now it showed human ships in blue, moving in coordinated formations toward the red Korthak positions. "We don't wait for enemies to attack us," Kane explained. "We find them first. We hit them first. We hit them so hard they never get up again." Stone pointed to different areas on the map. "The Korthak fleet is gathering here near Kepler's Gate. They're preparing to attack your homeworld." "Perfect." "Perfect." Veltar felt confused. "How is that perfect?" "Because they're putting all their ships in one place," Major Kim said, with a smile that made Veltar nervous. "It saves us the trouble of hunting them down one system at a time." Another human officer entered the room. Captain Danny Walsh was carrying a small device that projected holographic images. "Commander Veltar," Walsh said, "let me show you the difference between your ships and ours." The hologram showed a Zephyrian vessel next to a human destroyer. The human ship was 3 times larger and covered in weapon ports. "Your ship has one mining laser that you converted into a weapon," Walsh explained. "Our destroyer has 42 weapon systems. It can destroy a planet." Veltar stared at the hologram. "Destroy a planet?" "If we needed to," Walsh said casually. "But we prefer not to. Planets are useful." The hologram changed to show the inside of a human warship. Veltar could see thick armor plating, redundant systems, and crew members wearing battle armor. "Your ships were built to explore and mine asteroids," Walsh continued. "Our ships were built for one purpose: to win wars." A new officer approached them. Lieutenant Commander Beth Moore had scars on her face and moved with a slight limp. "Commander Veltar," she said, "Dr. Carter told us about your people. You study stars and make art. That's beautiful. Humans do something different." "What do humans do?" Veltar asked, though he was not sure he wanted to know. "We study war," Moore replied. "For thousands of years humans fought each other. We got very good at it. We learned how to build weapons, how to move armies, how to destroy enemies completely." She activated another display showing human military history. Veltar saw images of ancient battles, flying machines dropping explosives, and massive armies fighting across continents. "We fought with sticks and stones," Moore explained. "Then with metal weapons. Then with explosives. Then with flying machines. Then in space. Every time, we got better at killing." Veltar felt sick. "You sound proud of it." Moore's expression became serious. "Not proud, but not ashamed either. War is terrible, but sometimes terrible people force you to fight. When that happens, you better be good at it." Admiral Kane called everyone's attention to the main screen. "The Korthak Empire has destroyed 12 peaceful civilizations. They're working on number 13. That ends now." She pressed several buttons and the display showed the human battle plan. Blue arrows moved toward red positions in coordinated attacks. "We will hit them with everything we have," Kane announced. "Fast and hard, no warning, no mercy, no survivors who might come back for revenge later." Commander Stone stepped forward. "Commander Veltar, the Korthak have 327 ships. We have 237. They think they outnumber us." "Don't they?" Veltar asked. The humans looked at each other and smiled. It was not a nice smile. "Numbers don't matter if the other side can't fight back," Major Kim explained. "One human warship can destroy 10 Korthak ships, maybe 20. "How do you know?" Veltar asked. Captain Walsh answered. "Because we've seen their ships. They're built like yours were originally, for conquest of weak enemies. They've never fought anyone who could fight back." Admiral Kane walked over to Veltar. "Commander, your people are peaceful. That's good. The galaxy needs peaceful people to make art and study stars and grow food. But the galaxy also needs people like us. People like you. People who are very, very good at violence," Kane said quietly. "People who can stop monsters like the Korthak." A communication alert sounded. The voice of Captain Roy Thompson came over the speakers. "Admiral, the Korthak main fleet is moving toward the Zephyrian home system. They'll be in position to attack in 18 hours. Kane nodded. "Perfect timing. All ships prepare for combat operations. We launch in 6 hours." The room became busy as human officers began final preparations. Veltar watched them work. They moved with purpose and confidence. These people had done this before. Lieutenant Commander Moore approached him. "Commander, you look worried." "I am worried," Veltar admitted. "You scare me almost as much as the Korthak do." Moore nodded. "Good. You should be scared of us. But remember something. We're on your side. The Korthak are about to learn what happens when you threaten human allies." Veltar looked around the war room one more time. Maps showing battle plans. Weapons displays. Officers discussing how to destroy an entire enemy fleet. "What have I done?" he whispered to himself. Moore heard him. "You asked the right people for help," she said. "Tomorrow your people will be safe. The Korthak will be gone, and the galaxy will know that peaceful species have protectors." Veltar nodded slowly. He still felt scared. But for the first time in months, he also felt hope. The Battle of Kepler's Gate began at exactly 0600 hours human time. Commander Veltar watched from the bridge of the Iron Thunder as Admiral Kane gave the final order. "All ships, this is Admiral Kane. Execute Operation Thunderclap. Show them what happens when you mess with our friends." The human fleet moved like a pack of hunting animals. 237 warships accelerated toward the Korthak position in perfect formation. Veltar had never seen anything so terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Captain Alex Turner led the first attack wave. His battle group consisted of 20 heavy cruisers and 40 destroyers. They appeared at the edge of the Korthak fleet like ghosts materializing from nothing. "First wave in position," Turner reported, over the communication system. Enemy fleet looked surprised. On the main screen, Veltar could see the Korthak ships. They were big and ugly, covered in spikes and weapon ports. But they were moving slowly, trying to figure out where the human ships had come from. "They're not used to fighting real warships," Admiral Kane said calmly. "Fire at will." What happened next would be talked about across the galaxy for generations. The human ships opened fire with everything they had. Space lit up with energy, beams, missile trails, and explosions. The Korthak had been expecting to fight converted mining ships. Instead, they faced weapons that could tear apart asteroids. Their heavy armor, which had easily defeated Zephyrian defenses, cracked and melted under human firepower. "First enemy formation destroyed," Turner reported, moving to secondary targets. Veltar watched the battle display in shock. 20 Korthak ships had been destroyed in less than 5 minutes. The humans had not lost a single vessel. "Second wave, you're cleared to engage," Kane ordered. Commander Lisa Wright's carrier group launched fighters into space. Hundreds of small human ships swarmed toward the Korthak fleet like angry insects. The Korthak fighters tried to respond, but they were too slow and too clumsy. Human pilots had trained for years to fight in space. The Korthak pilots had only ever fought helpless civilians. "This is Red Leader," came a voice over the radio. "Korthak fighters are no match for us. It's like shooting practice targets." One by one, Korthak ships began to explode. Some tried to run away. Others tried to surrender. The humans accepted no surrenders. "Admiral," Veltar said quietly, "some of them are trying to give up." Kane's face was stone. "They showed no mercy to 12 peaceful civilizations. They get none from us." The battle continued for 18 hours, but the outcome was never in doubt. Human ships moved through the Korthak fleet like sharks through a school of fish. Every attack was planned. Every shot was accurate. Every movement was coordinated. Captain Danny Walsh's heavy battleships destroyed the largest Korthak vessels. His weapons punched through armor that was 3 feet thick. Ships that had bombarded planets from orbit were torn apart in seconds. "This is Walsh, Korthak Command. Ship is breaking apart, no survivors." Major Sarah Kim coordinated the logistics of the battle. Her supply ships kept human vessels fighting at full capacity, while medical ships stood ready for casualties. But there were no human casualties. A few ships took minor damage from desperate Korthak attacks, but no human died that day. Commander, Rick Stone tracked enemy movements from the tactical center. "Admiral, we have Korthak ships trying to escape to hyperspace. Should we let them go?" "Negative," Kane replied firmly. "None of them leave this system alive. They might come back, with reinforcements." Human pursuit ships chased down every fleeing Korthak vessel. Some were caught at the edge of the system. Others were destroyed as they tried to enter hyperspace. By the end of the battle, 327 Korthak ships had been reduced to floating wreckage. Not a single enemy vessel escaped. Veltar stood in the war room looking at the aftermath displayed on the screens. Space around Kepler's gate was filled with debris and burning metal. It looked like a ship graveyard. "It's over," he whispered. Admiral Kane nodded. "The Korthak invasion fleet is completely destroyed. Your people are safe." "But what about their homeworlds? What if they send more ships?" Kane smiled coldly. "They won't." "Captain Thompson's status report." Thompson appeared on the communication screen. "Admiral, I've been monitoring Korthak communications. Their home government is in panic. They've ordered all military operations to stop immediately. They're requesting peace negotiations." "Peace negotiations?" Veltar asked. "They want to surrender," Kane explained. "Completely. They're offering to pay for all the damage they caused to your people and the other civilizations they destroyed." Veltar felt his legs go weak. "They're giving up? Just like that?" "Lieutenant Commander," Beth Moore answered. "Commander, the Korthak Empire built their power on attacking peaceful species. They never fought anyone who could fight back. Today, they learned what real warfare looks like." Kane activated the main communication system. "This is Admiral Kane. To all Korthak forces in this sector of the galaxy, your invasion fleet has been completely destroyed. Any Korthak ship that enters Zephyrian space will be destroyed immediately. Any attack on peaceful species will result in the complete destruction of your empire. This is your only warning." The response came quickly. A Korthak voice, shaking with fear, spoke over the radio. "Admiral Kane, this is High Commander Vextar of the Korthak Empire. We surrender unconditionally. We will withdraw all forces from conquered territories. We will pay reparations to all species we have harmed. Please do not attack our homeworlds." Kane looked at Veltar. "What do you think, Commander? Should we accept their surrender?" Veltar thought about his people who had died on 12 worlds. He thought about the other peaceful species the Korthak had destroyed. Then he thought about the terrible power he had just witnessed. "Yes," he said finally. "Accept their surrender, but make sure they never do this again." Kane nodded. "High Commander Vextar, we accept your surrender. You will withdraw from all conquered territories. Within 30 days, you will pay full reparations to all species you have harmed, and you will never again attack peaceful civilizations." We agree to all terms, Vextar replied quickly. Good. And Vextar? Remember what happened here today. Remember that peaceful species now have protectors. If you ever forget, we'll come back and finish what we started. The communication ended. The war room fell quiet except for the soft hum of the ship's engines. Admiral Kane turned to Veltar. Commander, your people asked for backup. We brought a war fleet. I hope that was enough. Veltar looked around the room at the human officers. These people had just destroyed an entire invasion force in 18 hours. They had ended a war that could have lasted for years. It was enough, he said quietly. Thank you. Kane smiled. That's what allies do for each other. Your people are safe now, and every other peaceful species in this part of the galaxy knows they have friends. As Veltar prepared to return to his ship, he realized something important. He had asked for backup and accidentally introduced the galaxy to its most dangerous species. But maybe that was exactly what the galaxy needed. Sometimes, peaceful people needed very violent friends.